Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Kajaria Ceramics Q2 FY22 post-results conference call hosted by Antique Stock Broking. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Manish Mahawar from Antique Stock Broking. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thanks, Rutuja. On behalf of Antique Stock Broking, I would like to welcome all the participants on the call of Kajaria Ceramics. From the management, we have Mr. Ashok Kajaria, Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Chetan Kajaria, Joint Managing Director, Mr. Rishi Kajaria, Joint Managing Director, and Mr. Sanjeev Agarwal, CFO on the call. Without further ado, I would like to hand over the call to Mr. Ashok Kajaria for opening remarks, post which we will open the floor for Q&A. Thank you, and over to you, Mr. Kajaria.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the Quarter 2 F22 earnings call of Kajaria Ceramics Limited. We sincerely hope that you and your family are safe and healthy. I have with me my sons Chetan and Rishi, Sanjeev our CFO, and Palvi Bhalla looking after investor relations on this con call. With the rapid pace of vaccination witnessed in the country, as we all know, yesterday we touched 100 crore vaccinations in India. We have so far kept the third wave at bay and really hope that we are through with this pandemic without any further hiccups. We are glad to witness a sharp turnaround in our numbers and performance post the second COVID wave, which was much better than what our initial expectations were. Economic activity is expected to further gain momentum, led by favorable monetary conditions, improved customer sentiments, and government focus on infrastructure spending. The opportunity landscape is poised to get better, and Kajaria continues to strengthen its customer value proposition with ever-expanding bouquet of products, designs, and riding high on economies of scale with upcoming expanded capacities. Our business has shown resilience and delivered a good performance. In Quarter 2 F22, consolidated revenue from operations increased by 37% year-on-year to rupees 974 crores from rupees 713 crores in Quarter 2 F21. Revenue from bathware segment grew from rupees 53 crores to 74 crores in Quarter 2 F22 year-to-year. Revenue from plywood segment grew from 9 crores to 17 crores in Quarter 2 F22 year-to-year. Absolute EBITDA increased from rupees 144 crores as to 181 crores in Quarter 2 F22. EBITDA margins for the quarter stood at 18.54% as compared to 20.17% in the corresponding quarter of previous year. Consolidated PAT in Quarter 2 has increased to rupees 116 crores from rupees 89 crores in Quarter 2 F21. As of 30th of September 21, working capital days have come down to 56 days as compared to 86 days as on 30th of June 2021. Going forward, we are looking at around 15% volume growth and around 20% revenue growth for the second half of this financial year. With this, I take the opportunity of thanking you for joining us today. Over to you for question and answer, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Girish Chaudhary from Spark Capital Advisors. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. And congrats on a very strong performance. Firstly, if you can talk about the quantum of price hikes taken during the quarter across verticals, and further in the month of October, how much more has been taken to counter the gas price inflation? So that's my first question.
You can ask all the questions together. I'll try to reply as much as possible.
Yeah. So just a follow-up on this itself, if you could share the average gas cost which we booked in Morbi and outside of Morbi, and where is the same currently?
Yeah. Oh. See, we have, thanks. We are here, myself, Chetan Rishi, you can also address to any one of them for any questions, but this question I am answering to you.
Sure.
What we did, as we are all aware, gas prices have gone haywire in the country. With this, we took 3 price increases. In April 21, we took 2 to 3%. July 21, we took 3%. In October 21%. On an average of 4% we have taken because the gas costs have gone up. All other infrastructure costs have gone up, like paper costs have gone up, transport costs have gone up. So looking at everything, we have taken this cost. Increase in the prices.
Okay.
So on gas cost, currently for our northern plants it's about 38 rupees and Morbi is about 50 rupees. For the southern plant, it is as of today the prices have gone up very high. It's close to about 60 rupees.
Got it. Sir, you did share on the price hike for tiles. If you can share for the other segments, bathware, faucets.
Bathware, also the prices have gone up 2 times in this financial year so far. Again, it's going up because the price of brass has gone up in May 20 to currently about 535 rupees. Okay. All other components which go into it are linked to brass and plastics and rubber. They have also gone up. So you can roughly say that overall there will be, in this financial year, there will be a price increase of close to about 20% to 25%. As far as sanitary ware is concerned, since our plant is at Morbi where the gas prices have again gone up on 24th of August and 5th of October, so the impact is close to about 8 to 10%. So that is also being passed on from 1st of November.
Yeah. Got it. So my next question is regarding the floating of a new subsidiary in UAE. So just to understand, is there a renewed focus towards capturing export markets currently versus I think earlier we did shy away from the export markets?
No, we
never. So that's right. So I tell you, basically the idea of
I answer your question. We never shied away from exports. Exports was not very competitive because in exports, as they have the same stand. In domestic market, Kajaria is a number 1 brand. We also get a premium. When you do exports, you are one of the suppliers, you get no premium whatsoever. But since the current scenario, just for your information, why we are opening this Dubai thing, is to feed and see that how we can market to GCC countries in Africa. For your information, gas prices, which you might be aware, but let me tell for the benefit of everybody, gas prices in Europe have gone up by 300 to 400% in the last 1.5 months. Europe has become expensive by almost $1.50 euro, 1.50 euro per square meter because of this increase in gas cost, increase in plastics, increase in all kinds of transportation. It has gone up. So today again, it may be viable for us to do some exports. That's not our focus. Our focus will never be exports. Let me be very clear. But we'll be able to do some exports. Currently, our exports are hardly 2 to 3%. Our vision is to take it to about 5 to 8% if possible.
Sorry to interrupt. May I request Mr. Girish Chaudhary to please rejoin the queue? We have participants waiting for their turn. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management is able to address questions from all participants, please limit your questions to 2 per participant. If you have a follow-up question, you may rejoin the queue. The next question is from the line of Rahul Agarwal from InCred Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, good evening, sir, and thank you for the opportunity and congratulations, for a good set of results. Sir, 2 questions.
I would like to add only one thing. The congratulations go to Chetan and Rishi.
All right, congratulations to the entire team, sir.
Okay.
So the first question was essentially on the entry. Astral Poly, the pipe company has announced entry into sanitary ware and faucets. Just wanted to get some sense of, your perspective, because obviously the demand is robust, housing is recovering. Tile demand obviously is looking much better YOY. Your thoughts on, how will basically this pan out? That is first. And second, on the gas pricing, obviously you gave the current pricing for your north, south and west plants. But broadly speaking, is Kajaria overall on a company level having a lower gas price versus Morbi guys? Because my sense is the Gujarat price is much higher than what you produce in north, and your west and south volume share is pretty low in your total volume. So overall fiscal 22, will Kajaria be beneficial versus Morbi purely on the gas price thing? Those are my two questions. Thank you.
I think two good questions, I would say. First, as far as Astral is concerned, they are coming. I also was told that news came, but I am aware for the last 2 months. Let me tell you. One. Two, we are a very young player in this field. We have a lot to do. We are only 200 crores last year. This year we are close to 280 to 300 crores that we are talking about. So we have a lot to do. So I think markets are good, and any new player coming in, they have a choice. They will come, and we have to do our job well rather than worrying about who's coming and who's not coming. That's one. As far as gas prices are concerned, what you are saying has never happened before. Normally the gas price difference was 2 to 3 rupees on either side. Sometimes Morbi was cheaper, sometimes north was cheaper. This is the first time the gap has become where we are paying close to about 38 rupees, as I just said, and Morbi is now 50 rupees. There is, for the knowledge of everybody, let me tell you, there is a possible expected hike by another 15 rupees in Morbi before the end of the month. That's what GSPC has been telling all around. So our prices will also may slightly go up, but not very much. So first time it is happening that this kind of a gas price difference is there. And if it is so, we'll definitely be benefited by this because our north plants are very efficient, and this gas price benefit will definitely pass some up on in the terms of cost to our dealers.
Sir, a small follow-up on the first question. So, obviously, in terms of your own expectation of how sanitary ware and bathware and faucets has done for Kajaria, overall, this year, obviously, the growth looks higher. But are you okay in terms of, this competition increasing? Obviously, dents again, market share increases, right? The market obviously is pretty consolidated in sanitary ware, and branded players obviously have a larger share in this market. So, any thoughts there? Thanks.
See, the Rishi will be right guy to reply.
Can I answer this question?
Let the Rishi reply.
So I think it's a good opportunity. In fact, if Astral is coming, that means it just improves the conviction in the market that we are in the right segment. And as we said, we are still very young and we have a lot of potential to grow, which we will. So we should not be worried at all. In fact, it gives us more confidence that if people like Astral also coming, that means there's a huge potential in market of sanitary ware and faucets. So we will keep on doing our job. You've seen the growth which we have done. And in 2 years, we are looking at crossing 500 crores plus. So we're going to grow very well. We are doing a lot of things to make sure that the growth happens.
Got it, sir. Thank you so much. All the best for your few quarters. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sonali Salgaonkar from Jefferies India. Please go ahead.
So thank you for the opportunity and congratulations to the team. So my first question is regarding the exports by Morbi players. So could you give us an update as to where the situation in export stands? Because in the interim, our channel check suggested that they have taken production cuts for about a month. So have they started the exports back?
Good evening, Sonali. The first question is whether the exports, regarding exports, as we all know, freight rates have gone up drastically from all over for all areas from India. Morbi, same thing happened. They were exporting till July, August, about 1100 to 1200 crores of rupees per month. The freight rates have gone up drastically. The exports have started coming down. In the month of September, they were doing only about 600-800 crores of exports. Exports are not come back to normal, and that's one reason why they shut down their plants. If you are aware, they shut down the soluble salt plants from 5th of August for 1 month, double charge plants and GVT plants from 15th of August for 1 month, and volatile plants from 1st of September to 30th of September for 1 month. Because they were doing a lot of exports, all of a sudden this happened that the freight rates have become high. So they have suffered definitely, and that's one reason Why the markets are tough for them. Some of the plants had to close for simple reason they couldn't do exports. And getting into domestic market, which people think it is very easy, it's not easy, because with GST and the gas prices which it is today in Morbi and North, the difference is narrowed down to a great extent.
Understand. So, but in your opinion, there is no risk that they will route this excess supply in the domestic markets?
No way at all. Otherwise, Kajaria, Somany, all these organized players will not be doing so well.
Got it, sir. So my second question is regarding the demand. Now, the housing upcycle, as we all know, is catching up quite fast. But would you be able to give us a picture as to how is urban doing versus rural, and where in the maximum traction is coming from?
The smaller towns, the demand is very, very positive. In urban areas, the demand is positive, but right now the big builders have payment issues. Let me be very honest. They still have payment issues, which should be sorted out in the next 6 to 9 months, because they have started getting money from banks. Projects have started selling. Money has started coming. But with whatever trouble they had, they will still take 6 to 9 months to get out. But in smaller towns, this kind of a problem is not there, because people are making 1 or 2 houses as a builder. So this problem is not there. The rotation of the money is very, very fast. Prices have also gone up in the tier 2, tier 1, 3 towns by at least 15 to 30%. That's what I get the feedback from our builder friends and our dealer friends, that this has happened.
Got it, sir. So, and just a small clarification. You said the guidance is 15% volume growth and 20% revenue growth for the second half of the fiscal, or for FY22 as a whole?
For second half of the fiscal.
Got it, sir. That's it from my side. All the best.
First half is very high as it is. So I can, as of today, I can only talk about the second half.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Achal Lohade from JM Financial. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. If you could help us with the gas cost, you did talk about the gas cost currently, but if you could help us with the second quarter gas cost for the north, west, and south plant, please.
Right now, it's too early to say. As I said a few minutes back, there is a possibility that Morbi cost will go up another 15 rupees before the end of the month. That's an indication JSPC has given to all the local manufacturers. So as of today, to talk about what will happen, I cannot say. But I can only say one thing, as far as Kajaria is concerned, for the northern plants, we are taking close to 70% of the gas as long term and mid term. That is RLNG and Henry Hub. The rest is 30% was so far this spot prices. Spot prices are through the roof. So what is the right time we will take, what is the right line we'll take, will go as the price moves. So it's very difficult to tell you today, but only one thing I can tell you. With the Morbi prices are much higher than what we are paying in north. Whatever price increase happens in gas, with a lag of 15 days, it will be passed on to the trade. That will happen.
Okay. So, I also wanted to check the second quarter, the quarter gone by. What was the gas cost in terms of rupees per net cubic meter?
Gas cost in second quarter was close to 38 rupees for northern plants. That is Sikandrabad and Gailpur. And as far as Morbi was concerned, the second quarter, the gas price was about 36 rupees till 24th of August. And after that, it went up to 40 rupees. And 5th of October, it went up to, which will come in quarter 3, it went up to 50 rupees.
And what about south, sir?
South till 30th of September was 40 rupees. Close to 45 rupees. And in October, it has gone up to 60 rupees.
Understood. The second question I had, you said 15% volume growth and 20% bottom line growth for second half. So it does imply the margins we are looking at clocking 19-20% margin for the second half. Is that understanding right? And what will drive that in terms of, you think all the costs will be passed on, or there is also cost reductions which is happening?
See, two things you must understand. When the prices go up of gas or other raw materials or paper or anything, there is a lead time of always will be 30 days before we can do anything, number one. Number two, whatever we do, everything cannot be passed on. We close to pass on about 80-85% of whatever the cost goes up. So coming to margins, I think it will be, in the second quarter, our margin was close, 18.5% of it. It will be close to 18%, I can tell you that. Because as I said earlier, there is now a big price difference between Morbi and northern plants. Because we buy here from GAIL and there it is GSPC. With this, whatever happens, tomorrow if the prices go up, they pass on. And we have no problem in passing on that benefit. It takes 15 to 30 days to take a decision, implement and all that. So it will be passed on. So I think we should be close to 18% plus. And whatever the situation at that time, we don't know what will happen.
Understood. If I may ask just one clarification, sir, in the other expenses, can you help us in terms of how much was the A&P for the quarter and same quarter last year?
Ask any specific question, I will be too happy to answer. Please ask me any specific question.
Yeah, A&P for the quarter.
Advertisement cost, last year we spent close to about 46 crores. This year we have budgeted for about 70 crores. And I think in the second quarter we have spent about 16 crore plus, 17 crores. Yeah. And going forward, it will be like that only.
Okay. Yeah, that's about it from my end, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ritesh Shah from Investec. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. Sir, two questions. First is, sir, you indicated on exports, I think at the start of the call, you indicated that the gas prices in Europe have shot up very sharply. And sir, you also indicated that container freight is also a problem. If I look at the global tiles seaborne trade, Spain is a major player over there. Now, I'm not sure what is the cost increase over there. If the cost increase is substantial over there, how does Morbi react, or how should one look at exports when one factors both the cost angle with respect to container freight plus the power and fuel cost impact because of the gas prices in Europe versus Gujarat?
See, Europe, as I said earlier, the cost has gone up by 1.5 euros per square meter. In the last 2 months, the gas prices have gone through the roof, and there are other costs which has gone up. As far as India costs are concerned, even if 1.5 euros is 120 rupees a square meter. When you talk about India, even if we increase 20-25 rupees a square meter, there is a hue and cry, because that's what the impact is. So definitely Morbi will get more competitive. I have no doubt about it. But the biggest catch is the export freight. Export freight, what has happened in this part of the world, that is India and China, similar thing has not happened in Europe, for your information. In Europe, the freight rates have gone up by hardly 20-25%. We are just doing an expansion, as you are aware. A lot of machines are coming from Italy. There the freight increase is hardly 20 to 25%. In China, whatever is coming, the freight rate, which was 1 year back at $1,200 per container, has gone up to $7,000 per container. So it is more of a problem this side than less of a problem in Europe. So how it will fare up internationally, I am not able to say right now. But definitely with the cost going up everywhere, Morbi will definitely be competitive in cost front, but shipping freight, I can't answer that right now.
Sure, sir. That's useful. Sir, my second question is, there is no doubt that we will pass on the gas price increase going forward. But is there a risk of down trading? At the start of COVID, we saw a phenomena wherein basically larger size tiles were selling less and we were selling, basically industry-wide, smaller size tiles were being sold more. So is that a scenario which can come in with the increase in gas prices?
That was for a very short period, because in earlier first COVID, smaller towns opened faster, the bigger towns opened later. That was only for a period of about a month and a half. In second COVID, there is no such impact because everything got affected. Everything had opened up together. So there is no difference. There is no problem there.
Okay, so despite the increase in prices, this is not something that we would be worried about.
Baba, mal bik raha hai, khub bik raha.
Okay, perfect, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Good luck.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Niyat Alreza from Edelweiss Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, sir. Thanks a lot for the opportunity. Am I audible?
Yes, very much.
Yes, you are.
Firstly, congratulations to the whole team. Sir, my actually question was mainly related to margin trend. So in the past also we've never ever seen such kind of gas prices, but despite that our peak margins used to be 19-20%. What I want to understand is we are still very positive of 18 plus margins with this kind of gas scenario. So is it the product mix that is giving us the confidence, or is it more the structurally, focusing a lot on exports? So if at all you could highlight that and how confident we are in terms of margins for next 2 to 3 years would be really helpful. We do understand your guidance for the next 6 months.
Let me talk about the first 6 months. What will happen after 2-3 years, I can't say today. I will talk in the end of the second quarter, the third quarter, or fourth quarter. Why we are positive? Not because of product mix. Product mix more or less remains the same. Earlier, as I said, please understand and make a note, Morbi prices were close to what we are paying in North. First time in the last at least 5-7 years that I can recall, the price differences become very high, 38 and 50 rupees. They have to increase the prices corresponding to the increase in the gas prices, which they have started doing earlier. They used to hold up. We will do it, not do it. Nobody knew. But today they have no chance. It's a question of survival. We are at 38 rupees. We have that leverage. And as a result, whatever they pass on, I have an advantage. I'll pass on also. So as far as that is why the margins are protected. I said it will take 15 days to 30 days of any price hike to be passed on. It could be gas. It could be inland transportation. It could be other factors also, like if you remember in March, the price of paper went through the roof. We had to pay, our cost increased by close to about 3 crores rupees per month because of the packing cost only. So gradually it gets passed on. It doesn't pass on overnight, but it will all be passed on. It has all been passed on. That's why we are able to maintain these margins. And last point is, first time in a long time we are producing at 100% of the capacity, which you have to take, because whenever you shut down a plant, there is a big cost. Last 3 months, July to September, the production has been 100%. I think Sanjeev would like to add something.
Yeah, as the chairman stated in his earlier remarks, that we had taken a price increase of 4% in October. So, and that has been absorbed well in the market, and there is not matching cost escalation in the quarter. So that will give us some comfort to maintain or maybe some improvement in the margin going forward.
Sure, got that, sir. And sir, my last question with respect to the sanitary ware division now. Sir, we definitely understood that you are aiming at 280 to 290 odd crores this particular year in this entire division. But that will also be led by 15 to 20%, I think, realizations at least. What's your outlook here? Is there any, strategic change in focus, which is, now more going towards sanitary ware? And if at all you could, provide us with some insights on how the imports have actually been impacted, because we have been listening that, Jaguar, other companies, they have been in a lot of trouble with the imports. So if at all you could highlight that would be really, really helpful.
See, when you talk about imports, as you know, tiles are not being imported in India for the last 5-7 years. Not a single box of tile comes. As far as bath fittings are concerned, nothing is being imported in India. Sanitary ware, some high value items have been imported and continue to be imported. But the base today, because of the increase in freight rates, which I just shared with you, China last year at this time, the freight rate was close to about $1,500 to $2,000 per container. Today it is $7,000 to $8,000 per container. Imports are becoming unviable. So imports will gradually come down. Domestic production will go up. And also what we will do, some of the imports good items will produce domestically, because the price difference will be much. So ultimately everything will be, you can say, imports will come down by half. It will be taken over by the indigenous production.
Sure, sir. That was helpful. Thanks a lot, sir, and all the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Pulkit Patni from Goldman Sachs. Please go ahead.
Sir, thanks a lot for taking my question. Sir, I have 2 questions. My first question is about exports. Now, on the one side, you mentioned that export from Morbi has been impacted by higher freight rates, and which naturally would happen if the value of the product that goes in your container is not very high. Freight tends to be a bigger part of the overall equation. Now, to that extent, tomorrow, let's assume that India has also gained market share from China because of this whole freight rate equation. So how sustainable is this whole export from India, given the fact that tomorrow, if the freight rates globally start normalizing again, maybe the export out of China again start increasing. So I just want to know that this target that we want to increase our export, the very fact that freight rate itself is something that can move the needle, is it something that we can rely on for the medium to long term? That would be my first question.
Hi,
So
this is
let me
Chetan
answer that
Kadaria
question. Acha, okay.
So basically,
Hello.
in FY21 also, India exported 12,000 crores worth of tiles. The main reason was USA putting anti-dumping duties on China also, and anti-China sentiments across other parts of the world. So even if the freight rates normalize, exports will come back to the normal levels of 1,000 crore a month from Morbi. So this will not impact the domestic market, which is on its own growth path basically. So if the freight rates normalize, exports will still go up as it was pre-COVID also. So that will not impact the domestic market.
Sure. No, I understand that. Yeah. Go ahead, please.
I'm saying for Morbi right now, the gas cost has increased its prices and the freight has increased substantially. That's why they are being uncompetitive. It's a matter of time. When it comes back to normal, the exports will come back to normal. We are still very competitive from India. That's why we have done huge exports in the last couple of months, and last months overall.
Sure. No, so what I meant was basically that as long as the anti-dumping duty on China remains, we are competitive. If that goes away, then does this equation change, or even then we are competitive?
No, it still will not change. We will still be very competitive. India has now become very competitive as compared to China, and even the product range, what India has today, yeah.
There is no relation of anti-dumping as far as China is concerned. India is the second most competitive producer in the world. It is also the second largest producer in the world. As we all know, due to pandemic, China's preference has come down. A lot of countries have put anti-dumping duty on China. When anti-dumping duty is put on China, it is not for 6 months or 1 year. It is there for 3 to 5 years. So that problem China will always face, and India is the biggest advantage. The only disadvantage which has happened of late is the increased freight. Competitive-wise, India is very, very competitive. Very, very competitive.
Fair point, sir. So we can assume that about 5% of our revenue in the medium term could come out of export. So that's clear. So my second question is on
in case of Kajaria, the current revenue out of exports is hardly 2 to 3%. We are starting our Dubai operations to look at the export opportunity. As you rightly said just now, it could be maybe in a year ahead, that is 22, 23, it could be 5%. Yeah.
Got it, sir. That's clear. So now on the domestic market, while I understand, passing on prices should not be that big a problem, particularly to retail customer. My concern is when it comes to the kind of inflation we are seeing on steel, cement, maybe tiles. Do you think for the institutional buyer, which is about 30% of your total sale, there could be some down trading? Just because I think this kind of price increases are unprecedented.
Are you not aware that prices of steel has gone up by 50 to 70% in the last 1 year? Plastics have gone up by 50 to 70%. Rubber has gone up by 50 to 70%. Non-ferrous have gone up by 70%. Where is the question of down trading? What kind of a question is this? How can there be down trading when everybody make a building without this stored steel? The prices have gone up by 50 to 70% in 1 year. So where is the question of down trading and all that? They are talking about 50 to 70%. I am talking about 5-7%. You are saying there is a down trading. What kind of a question is that?
And listen, just to answer your question, in October we have already increased prices with our institutional buyers, and they have accepted it with the term that November the price will further increase. So we have already started increasing prices with our institutional customers. So there is no down trading, and if they don't accept, they have no choice because they are not going to get material from anywhere else. Prices everywhere is increasing. So they have no choice but to pay.
Fair point. Yeah, that's what I wanted to understand. How easy is it to pass on prices?
It's not about being easy. It is about there's no choice. If the cost increases, the institutional buyer also has to put tiles in his project. And if he's not going to get it from anywhere in the market because everywhere the costs have increased. So he has no choice but to give the increased cost to all the to the supplier.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nikhil Agrawal from VT Capital. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. So I wanted to understand, like, since you mentioned that your gas prices, but like when I calculate the percentage of your gas cost, power and fuel cost on the total operating expenses, it has come down quarterly. And even on the margin side, your power and fuel costs have come down when you compare sequentially. So can you highlight on that? Do you have like contracts with the companies that you purchase gas from?
Yeah, that's right. Actually, if you see sequentially, the power and fuel cost has come down, but YOY it has gone up. The main reason is because of little change in the mix in the power on the fuel cost side. So if you see, our overall cost has not even gone up sequentially also.
Okay, so do you have any contract, like sir mentioned that in the north you purchase your gas from GAIL. So do you have like those contracts, or do you buy gas on spot prices?
The contract is, we have a contract, but that contract is based on crude, Brent crude, and the major portion, as the chairman has stated earlier, major portion of gas is coming through that long term and Henry Hub. So that is why our gas cost is cheaper than Morbi and going to remain the same if this kind of price scenario remain in the industry. We are currently, and for the next few quarters would be cheaper than Morbi. Yeah.
Okay, and so just one more last question. Like you said that your gas prices currently is rupees 50 per SCM in Morbi in October, right?
Sorry?
Please come again.
You mentioned that your gas prices in Morbi is rupees 50 per SCM in Morbi currently.
Not for me, for everybody. For everybody.
Okay. So you said that the price differential between you and the unorganized players is a lot. I wanted to know what is the price that Morbi players are paying for gas right now.
There is no such word as unorganized. They are all regional players. They are paying full GST. They are regional players. And the gas price for everybody is the same as far as GSPC is concerned. There is no difference between A, B, C, D, E, F.
Just to add to your first question, when you asked, there was a decrease in gas costs sequentially because the first month was closed in the first quarter. So because of that, there was a higher impact on the cost, and that's why per SCM is coming higher in quarter one as compared to quarter two.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Peter Uday from Bimato Wealth Management. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Good evening, everyone. Sir, my question is that in terms of the production from Morbi, what % goes towards domestic and what % is export?
See, currently, at a given point of time, currently I can't say, till August, let's say, they were exporting close to about 35% of their production is exports, and the rest was coming in the domestic market. Since exports got expensive because of the shipping freight, so they closed down their plants. If you have heard, I said, Solid salt plants were closed for 1 month. Double charge and GVT was closed for 1 month, given different period of time, and volatiles were closed for 1 month from 1st September to 30th September. So that is how they adjusted their capacity, because they could not market it domestically and exports got so when you talk about numbers, close to 35% production should go to exports, should have gone to exports earlier. Right now, it's less because of the difficult situation.
No problem. Sir, and what would be the production bifurcation percentage-wise between North, Morbi and South?
For me? For us?
Yes, sir.
For us, North is how much?
So Morbi is around 18%.
Morbi is around 18%. That's only polished vitrified tile as far as production is concerned, but we also outsource both polished vitrified tiles and ceramic.
Okay.
South is close to about what?
10%.
Even less than that.
5
about
7.
10%. South is 10%. Vinar and Kalasti. Yeah. and North is about
remaining
more. And we are doing a lot of outsourcing of ceramic tiles and polish vitrified tiles.
Okay. So that means since it's North, you will benefit a lot from the lower gas price. And sir, final question is, what is the capex plan for the next year and the next fiscal?
We have already said in our earlier thing that we are doing 3 capexes. The total cost is about 275 crores. We are expanding the capacity at Gailpur. We are expanding the capacity at Kalahasti in South, and we are expanding the capacity in JEX. It's all part of the report which we have given. So it's a 275 crore expansion.
And all the expenses are coming in this financial year.
Yeah.
Coming in. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Achal Lohade from JM Financial. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the follow-up opportunity, sir. Just wanted to clarify, in the earlier comment, you said 70% of our gas is long-term and medium-term, and 30% is spot. Just wanted to clarify, is it fair to assume that, your North plants are on long-term, South is on spot, and the West is on from GSPC? Is that understanding right, sir?
No. Wait. What I said was, the North plants, Secunderabad and Gailpur, 70% is long-term and medium-term, and 30% is spot. As far as Morbi is concerned, everybody buys only from GSPC. So
right.
That's a spot, whatever the price is.
Right.
It depends on when they hike the prices. They hike their prices on 24th of August and 5th of October. As far as the South plant is concerned, it is on spot with IOC. So since the prices went up, they raised the prices. It was 45 rupees in the month of September. On 1st of October, it went up to 60 rupees. Depending on what the situation is, we have to face it. And it is a small capacity. It's a value-added capacity of glazed vitrified tiles. And the capacity is about 3.7 million square meters.
Which is around 5%.
5 million square meters. I'm sorry, 5 million square meters per annum. Which is about 7-8% or 8% of our capacity.
70%.
Venar has got some APM and
very cheap gas.
Very cheap gas. Yeah. Which is again a small capacity of about 5%, 6%.
Right. When you said, 38 per SCM was the costing currently, was that a blended or you were talking about the long term for the North plant, sir?
Blended. Cost of gas to me.
Yeah, the blended cost you were saying, including the spot.
Yeah.
Okay. The second, just a follow-up question on that, sir. If we look at this, the manufacturing location and the gas mix, so like, we have outsourcing of 20-odd%. We have JVs. So, is it fair to say like 50-60% of our volumes will also see a cost inflation, but the North plant will be far more competitive in terms of the gas cost? Understanding right?
I think all these have already been discussed. All the information has been shared. Why do we keep on asking the same thing again and again? It's already been discussed.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rajesh Ravi from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello. Yeah, hi sir. Good evening. My question pertains to we are in an extreme volatile period, energy costs shooting through the roof. However, even in this September quarter, the volume growth has been quite robust. So, any sense on how is the demand expected to play out over next 2 quarters? What is your understanding? And as you have earlier guided for the domestic market, what sort of full year growth you're looking at?
See, I think it's a very interesting question you asked by using the word volatile. I think this is a scenario currently. Believe me, every day when we come to the office, this is a situation volatile. That's number one. But fortunately, to answer to your second question, the demand scenario is very positive. The tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities have bounced back. Lot of construction is happening in those cities. You'll be amazed at the kind of construction which is happening. Two, the prices have also gone up by 15 to 30% in these smaller towns. This is what we get a feedback mostly from our dealers because they are there. And the normal construction in, you can say metros is also on because people want to people want to move to bigger premises, and because of this pandemic where people were, left high and dry in their smaller places, they want to move to bigger premises. So going forward, demand is positive, and I'm sure what we shared with you that we are looking at close to 15% volume growth and 20% revenue growth is doable in the second half of the year.
Okay, for second half, 15% volume growth, 20% revenue growth. So, because you're looking at strong volume growth, and that is where your bullishness in terms of that, though the cost is going up, they can largely be passed on. Is my understanding correct, sir?
Your understanding is absolutely correct, which has already been passed on. See, we took 3 hikes, which people are not talking about. There was a hike in April, there was a hike in July, there was a hike in October, close to 4%, because our costs are going up. And in any scenario, as Chetan said earlier, if the costs are going up, we have no alternative but to pass on.
Correct. No,
everybody in the industry has passed on these costs, and so we are all at a level playing field.
Correct. So because demand overall is good, and this is helping the industry to pass through the cost, and that is what we need to look at it. That you would be growing. And for the industry, what sort of growth? You guided your volume growth at 15%, but for the industry?
Industry in the domestic market should grow at about 7, 8, 9%. Why? Okay. Because exports have suffered and will for some time it may suffer. So they have to sell domestically. So domestically also the growth should be about close to about 7 to 9%. That's what we are estimating. That's our thought process.
Okay, great. Great, sir. That's all from my end. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sandeep from asksandeepsabrawal.com. Please go ahead.
Good evening, Ashok ji. I just wanted to congratulate you on the great performance what the company has done, and good to hear from the call. A lot of people have been focused just on the gas price. Business price have been doing very good.
Sandeep, your voice is breaking, sir. We cannot hear you properly.
Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, hi Ashok ji, this is Sandeep Sabharwal. Just wanted to congratulate you on your great performance.
Pleasure to hear you again.
And good to see your sons on the call this time. And I think a lot of people have been just focused on the gas pricing. I think fundamentally.
आवाज clear नहीं है sir आपकी. Your voice is not clear.
Okay, so I'll touch base later then. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the last question for today. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Manish Mahawar for closing comments.
Thanks, Rutuja. On behalf of Antique Stock Broking, I would like to thank the management of Kajaria Ceramics to provide us an opportunity to host the call. Ashok ji, would you like to make a closing comment, sir?
I thank you for organizing this, and some of the people raised very positive questions. I am glad to hear that. And as a Kajaria team, Sanju is here, Pallavi is here, we'll be too glad to answer any questions post this conference raised by anybody. So my special thanks to everybody who joined. And anytime anybody has any question, our team will be too happy to answer that. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of Antique Stock Broking, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.